Hello, y'all. I'm going to try and do something different this year. I'm going to try to blog more and to post more. I've been doing quite a bit of writing, but I haven't shared a lot of that with you all. So I've made up my mind. I'm going to share more often. and so I might start out real, with a lot of stuff and then turn around and not give you as much stuff in the future. But the piece I wanted to do for you today is called The Rhythm of My House. And you never know where I come up with these thoughts and topics to discuss. But I've got a notebook full of things, and so I'm going to try and get through that notebook. So, in the rhythm of my house, I want to let you know that the house is quiet now. The last load of towels and sheets are in the washer. The dog is happy being back on his couch with no one telling him to get down or to move over. John is upstairs doing whatever he does upstairs. Jimmy is in bed, which is his favorite place to be. He's been on the phone tonight, but he did a lot more listening than talking this time. The guest room is empty. That means that they're all gone. It's been full for the last 16 days. They came in waves this year. They all wanted to come home, but they made a decision to break it up. I think it was a good decision, except we didn't all get to celebrate Christmas together. But they were playing it safe. The first wave came in the weekend before Christmas, and this was what I term my sweet family. My son Jay cannot claim sweetness, but his wife and children can. My young grandson, Luke, was so busy being at Mama Papa's house. Of course, he found his running track, and he ran around in circles. He went from the family room to the living room to the kitchen to the bathroom and back around. So he was in heaven. His most precious baby sister threw us all for a loop. At just 2 months old, she needed a whole lot of attention. And of course, Grandmama and Papa and Uncle John were ready to oblige. Her first trip home to Fancy Farm was anxiously awaited. They left on Tuesday. We didn't open any presents. They just took their presents with them and they left presents here for us. But they left on Tuesday and the party from Minnesota came in on Wednesday. Katie brought my grand dog with her, and I didn't realize how much I had missed her. She couldn't wait to chase cows and to cuddle with whoever would let her. Katie was so glad to be home and regally took her throne on the right side of the couch. She met all of her visitors with love and excitement. Of course, she had to shoot all the footage she could, but she never shared any of it with us, so unless I forced her to. She got around to see her friends and even trekked to Louisville with me to drop off out of town gifts and goodies. She held a surprise for us that we were not expecting. Her sister, Al, that's my daughter texting me. Her sister, Al, came in on Christmas night, and that was definitely a joy. Except that her sister came in Christmas night, and she brought the brood, and it was almost bedtime. They were wound for sound. They had to tell us all about Santa coming to see them. They had to tell us all about the presents they got from their other grandparents. They had to tell it all. I had warned Carolyn that with Katie in town, they would have to make pallets on the floor and sleep on the floor. She said they wouldn't mind that at all. They were just excited to be home. I kept saying that we didn't have the room for everybody, and she told me it didn't matter. We would all be together. except for Jay, and the girls were, um, except for Jay, and the girls were mad at him. I told them I was glad they did that. Anyway, the kids finally settled down and all was right in my house another night. The next day was as though three Tasmanian devils had been let loose in my living room and bedroom. They brought all of their tractors. They brought all of their baby dolls. They had them strategically placed throughout the house, and with a combination of these and two border collies, it was like navigating a minefield to make your way to the kitchen or the bathroom. There was food and more food. There were candies and snacks and sausage and gravy, and I won't bring up the chocolate covered cherries of the chocolate pie. Everything was so good, and what was so special was that everyone pitched in. Well, the girls pitched in. The boys did what we told them to do when they wanted to. But then it was time to open presents, so we could not keep the kids down any longer. There were presents to be opened, and they could no longer wait. They were not happy that all of the presents were not for them. But the adults were all gracious and let the kids open our gifts. It was never anything they wanted, though. Now, I had been told to get them toy cleaning utensils. Alexander got a mop and a broom set. Anderson got a vacuum cleaner. Nora Beth got a baker's outfit. They all got new backpacks with their names on them. But Pawpaw is really mean. He kept bringing out presents throughout the weekend. I think they would have been happier with them all at once, but you can't tell Pawpaw anything. After we finished with presents, we were all sitting around the kitchen table, and Nora Beth brought me my present. She hadn't pulled all the wrapping off, and I recognized the wrapping paper. I had wrapped that present. I recognized the wrapping. It wasn't for me, it was for my sister. Then she brought me another present, and that was unwrapped. And what was happening was that she was unwrapping all of the presents under the tree. Everyone was so upset with her, but it didn't bother me at all. I had a good story to tell because I wasn't wrapping another present. And the next day was one where the children were left at home while the adult children left. What? We were being left with these precious monsters. They were asleep, you see. We were asleep as well. They snuck out while we were napping. They were in big trouble. They made up for it by bringing home pizza for dinner. That bunch left the next morning before Pawpaw brought out any more presents. They were rather put out that they couldn't take the truck, tractor, and fork truck out of the package, but their parents prevailed. When they left, we took a big sigh of relief and went to our corners. The rest of the week went by rather smoothly, except for the times that Iris and Blue chased cows and came back covered in mud. Katie and I did make a short stop north to deliver presents, but were back in time for her to go out New Year's Eve. I think she had a really good time because someone had to bring her home. John might have had a better time because he didn't come home at all. He showed up the next day. And New Year's Day is a blur. We got up and went to church, and I think I spent the rest of the day going from the bed to the couch and back again. Now, Katie left this morning. She was going to drive 12 hours straight with just Iris to keep her company. The weather is iffy. We can't really figure out the road conditions in Iowa. Jimmy helped load her up, went to fill up her tank, and brought her plenty of sweets for the trip. And he kept throwing $20 bills at her. He just knew she was going to need some cash and she wouldn't have any. Her leaving was one of those catch-22s. We wanted her to go back to her life, but we wanted her to stay in our lives. But the house is back to normal. In another week, the Christmas decorations will be put up and we'll be caught up on all the laundry. The house will be peaceful in anticipation of the next wave of turmoil from the north. And that was Jimmy who got up and turned on the kitchen light. Yeah, so no telling why. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. And if you'll just subscribe to my blog, then you'll be notified every time I do something like this. Talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.